Good morning, class.
Good morning, ma'am.
So, how are you today?
We're good.
Okay, it's good to know that you're all fine today. So, before we proceed to our main discussion, let's have first a short recap about our previous discussion, which is about the macro skills. So, what are the macro skills? Yes, Ms. Iskandar.
Listening, reading, viewing, writing, and speaking.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ms. Iskandar. So, before we proceed to our next discussion, let's have first a brain exercise to energize yourself. So, who among you know the game called Guess the Thing?
We don't have any idea.
Since you don't have any idea about this game called Guess the Thing, I will expound to you the mechanics. So, first I'll just show you the picture and you will guess what the image is all about. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, guess the thing number 1. The big thing.
Is it urine?
Okay, urine. Any other answer?
Hearing.
Okay, guess the thing number 2.
It's just a listening item.
Listening.
Listening.
And the last one, guess the thing number 3.
It's talking.
Talking.
Or listening to?
Okay, talking. Listening. So based from your answers, we will just focus on the listening. This will our lesson will take over from today. So class, I will divide you into 2 groups. This one will be the group 1 and will be the group 2. I want you to come up with a word and make a concept map. And I want you to make a concept map about listening. And you'll do it in just 5 minutes. So time will start now. All your answers are correct. Thank you for your active participation, class. So listening is giving your attention to the sound before the action. Listening is hearing what others are trying to say and trying to understand what it means. So let's proceed now to the main discussion, to our main topic. And it will be discussed by Sir Eduardo and Ma'am Iskandar.
So before we proceed to our main discussion, let us first read our main objectives. So in listening strategies, we have only 2 main objectives. So at the end of this discussion, the students will be able to understand the different strategies in listening and to examine and identify the strategies in listening. So based on your own knowledge, what do you think or what comes to your mind when you hear the word listening strategies? Yes, Mr. Judge.
I think so. Listening strategies are things that we use when we are listening to the speaker.
Yes, very good. Listening strategies are techniques. You're right. So when you say listening strategies, these are techniques or activities that contribute directly to the comprehension and recall of listening input, and it can be also classified by how the listener process the input. So the experts have categorized these listening strategies into 2, which is the bottom up and the top down. So in order for us to have a better understanding about these listening strategies, let us now first take a deeper look to the first strategy, which is the top-down. So when we say top-down listening strategy, these are considered as listeners-based strategies, uses background knowledge of the topic, the situation of the context, and finally, type of the text and language of what he or she is listening to. So what do we mean by that? So this means that he or she already knows a fair amount of information about the topic, or he or she able to relate a story or information into a previous established schema or prior knowledge. So some examples here are listening for main idea, making prediction, and summarizing. So one specific example that tells the top-down strategy is when you were having a recess and someone came to your fund and tells about her story about her vacation, that was a very exciting one for her. Then you attentively listen and give reaction at appropriate moments. So perhaps you show that you can relate what is being told. Okay? So now it's your turn to give another example of top-down listening strategy. So to let me know if you fully understand what I'm talking about. So anyone complete? Yes,
But when you're in public and the particular person is being in the town, now they're just judging that particular person without knowing the whole story, but you know what's the real story behind it.
Okay, very good. So I guess that all of you now here have already gotten about the information that I have told, that I have discussed here. So I guess that it's time to proceed to the next topic, to the next listening strategy, which is the bottom.
Okay, Mr. Duarte just discussed about the top-down listening strategy, so I will be going to discuss to you the bottom-up listening strategy. So do you have any ideas about bottom-up listening strategies? So since you don't have any idea yet, I will be going to discuss with you the topic. So when we say bottom-up listening strategies, it is text-based strategies. Also, listeners attempt to make sense of knowledge through use by sound or words by words, with less use of background knowledge. So compared to with Mr. Eduardo who have said earlier in top-down listening strategies that in top-down listening strategies it uses background of knowledge or the context, while here in bottom-up listening strategies they did use background knowledge. And examples of bottom-up listening strategies is listening for specific details and recognizing word order patterns. So I will be giving you an example of scenario that shows bottom-up listening strategy. So let's say Miss Francis told you to come to her place during the weekend for a celebration, but you haven't been there before. So she gave you the directions and you pay attention so that you get the right directions to come over to her place. So do you understand what does bottom up means? Okay, so can give me another example or scenario that shows bottom up listening strategies. Okay, Miss Francis?
For example, the teacher asked me to create a haiku and I don't know how to create the haiku. So he gave me an example and example of how to make a haiku. And I example specific methods in order for me to create a haiku.
Very good, thank you, Miss Francis. So, since you guys already know what are the types of listening strategies, which is top-down and bottom-up strategy, any clarifications? Okay, to sum it up, the top-down strategies are prior knowledge that plays a vital role in understanding what you are listening, while the bottom-up listening strategies, depends the words or the sounds you hear during or when you are listening to something, and then you come up with what you what are the listening strategies. Then I'll be giving you a group activity. Each group will be divided into two. This will be the group 1 and that will be the group 2. So each group will perform a dramatization that shows the different listening strategies, which is the top-down and bottom-up strategy. So the group 1 will do the top-down listening strategy, and the group 2 will be moving the bottom-up listening strategy. So prepare and perform it after 20 minutes.
It is important to have different strategies in listening and communicating. So, why is it though? Why is it important to have different strategies in listening when it comes to communicating? Yes, Miss?
More effective communication.
Yes, you have an effective communicating. So, just like what I mentioned earlier, these strategies are used to have an effective communication. So, the bottom up only depends on the words and sounds you hear to make a sense of what you are listening to. Unlike top-down, this is where your prior knowledge plays a vital role. So I guess that you guys have fully understand what is the difference between top-down and bottom-up. So are you guys ready for the next activity?
Yes.
So I guess since you were responding yes, then let's get started.
Okay, class, get your notebook. I want you to decide whether each of the listening strategies are showing top-down strategies or bottom-up. So, are you ready?
Yes!
Pencils up, down. So, number 1, taking down notes. Is it bottom-up or top-down? Number 2, listening for specific speakers. 3, identifying the speakers. 4, summarizing. And for the last number, drawing inferences. So exchange paper with your seatmate and do check. Okay, class, for your assignment, I want you to examine and identify whether a top-down, bottom-up listening scenarios